What's up, y'all? It's been a while, but we are back. I'm very excited because today our topic was actually thought of by Miss Linanne herself. So she's just had something on her heart that God was really laying on her today as she was doing some reading. And so I'm going to let her kick it off. We're going to get into it. Miss Linanne, go right ahead.
I feel like I need to take you on how I got to this point, okay?
Please do.
So, I was listening to Set Me on Fire by Benjamin William Hastings. Great song.
Great song.
And I felt convicted that I haven't been on fire.
Right.
Like we read our Bible in a year, and last year I really, that sounds weird to say
Yeah.
last year I really, I just fell behind, and I never really was consistent with it. And so that song was just kind of turned into like a prayer of like, set me on fire, because like I'm complacent, I've lost my appetite or whatever. And so then that kind of made me think about how like my relationship with God and how my relationship with you in the Bible is described to kind of be the same. Like, we are the bride of Christ, and I am your bride in like our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Ephesians it talks about how wives should submit to their husbands and husbands should love their wives, and just how marriage should work in that kind of relationship. And then if you go to Revelation, it says that we are the bride of Christ, and how it got me thinking about how I am so devoted to you, and it's easy to spend time with you, it's easy to talk to you, it's easy, like, I don't feel forced, or that's something that I have to fit into my routine. And so I just felt really convicted that my relationship with God doesn't look the same as I felt like is described that it should be. And last night we were also listening to like a John Piper thing, and it was talking about prayer, and it was also very convicting because it said that sometimes we don't pray because it feels like an unproductive in like
use of our time.
an unproductive use of our time.
Right.
And it kind of made me sad that I related to that so much. I was like, that is how I feel sometimes. And like, it made me sad. Like, I shouldn't feel like that. I didn't want to feel like that. And so I just feel like that relationship aspect of my faith has been severely lacking. And so that was just kind of the thought of my whole day. Like, I literally listened to that song over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just because, like, I want, but I also, like, I felt sad that that's how I was, but I also had so much joy today because, like, in my relationship with you, if I hurt my feelings or I don't spend time with you, you're not going to condemn me and divorce me. Like, that's not how it works. And so I was filled with joy that I serve a God that today loves me just as much as he did the other day when I didn't. And, like, his love for me doesn't fall on how I show him that love back.
Right.
You know? So yeah, that's just kind of what I was thinking about today, is making sure that my relationship with God looks like an earthly, it should be more than an earthly relationship. Like, my relationship with God should be more of a priority than my relationship with you.
Right.
And the way I spend time with him should be different and more in depth than how we spend time. And so I just really felt convicted to not feel so burdened by having to read my Bible and pray and do all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not an inconvenience. Because it's not an inconvenience to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And so just kind of thinking about those like an earthly relationship compared to our relationship that we have with God. And how it should be like this, not, and so, yeah.
Well, when you posed this question, I really liked it. Because for one, when we did our New Year's resolutions, I hadn't even really thought about it. Like, I think I've had, a great year with God. I think there's been a lot of good things that have happened this year. I don't feel like incredibly distant from God necessarily or anything. But I just realized when, like, I heard what mine were for the year before, and then after I'd given mine, I just realized, like, you could tell how less engaged with just the Bible I was, because I just had a lot more, like, personal things that I wanted, if it was weight loss or something with work or something. I was like, I don't know, it kind of hit myself after we got done, and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, man, I was making everything about me. And it kind of made me sad, because I felt like, I was like, have I lost my fire? And so I've been very pointed on making sure I'm not losing my fire. And so I think it was funny that you posed this today, because I felt like I had a good day, felt very close to God today. And then you said that, and I was just really encouraged. And I thought of a couple things. So first off, I thought of Revelation 16:15, which is actually one of the verses I read right before our ball drop, which is when Jesus Armageddon is like the headline for this section, and Jesus is talking, and he says, "Behold, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who stays awake and keeps his clothes, so that he will not walk about naked, and people will not see his shame." And I was really thinking about that. And I thought about the parable of the 10 virgins in Matthew 25, where you have the five who have kept extra oil and the 5 who didn't.
Yeah.
And how they went out for extra oil and they missed the groom because they didn't, have their lamps ready. And I don't know, that it just really hit me, because as much as I felt like I was making sure my fire was staying, I felt like you saying that just really sparked me even more.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the biggest thing I got from it was just a realization of how beautiful it is when our earthly relationships and marriages are like this, so that our heavenly one can be too. Because honestly, I've never thought about the fact that, like, just the difference of my devotion to you and my devotion to God. And I've just never really processed, like, and asked myself, like, genuinely, like, am I spending as much time devoted to God in a serious way, not just reading my Bible, but truly, like, a true devotion to God like I am to you. And I really loved that. I felt like it really helped me be a little introspective and pay attention to where I need to grow. And on top of that, it also just reminded me that I'm so glad I have a real life relationship and marriage where, we ask these questions. And I know, talking to you, one of the big things about that was just communicating, and just me realizing how little I express to you. And it's like, I feel like we've had a lot of times this year where we've both had spiritual moments that we haven't even shared with one another. And I really think that is what I'm doing with God. It's like, my big thing is I just want more intentional prayer, because I'm just realizing, like, I'm doing that with God too. Like, it's not just you. Like, I do it with God too. Like, I'm not sharing what I'm thinking of spiritually, because of course God can hear my thoughts, but it's like, it's not me expressing them to God. It's just me sitting there with myself. And then I just really hit me, and so I loved it. I thought that was super deep. I don't have too much to add, because I think you really hit the nail on the head. So I like that verse about just staying awake and keeping your clothes ready, and then pairing that with the parable of the 10 virgins, where don't be waiting for your oil. Have your oil ready right now. And I'm just, I'm ready like a thief in the night. If it comes, I think I'm excited, because I feel like both of us are. It's funny. It's not morbid, I promise. But as we were driving to church, I just was thinking about it, and I was just like, like, if either one of us die, like, we're okay. Okay, we're gonna be okay. It's like, no matter what, like, if anything happens to Kalia, like, it doesn't change who we are as Christians. And I don't know, I felt a lot of courage in that. And I think we as Christians are too scared to say stuff like that. And I think that's why we struggle when bad things happen. It's because we're afraid to say we're ready. And we can handle it when it will come. Not that it'll be easy, not that we won't have pain or suffering, but I just really think we need to be encouraging one another to be like that. So, you have anything else? I feel like you did a great job. So, yeah.
Well, I feel like our So of the Week should definitely be setting me on fire.
Yeah. So it's definitely set me on fire. So that's gonna be our song of the week. With that, sorry we've been terrible about posting. Not gonna lie. Definitely lost fire as far as doing the videos. So I do want to apologize to all of you because we do these videos for you guys, not for us. And so it was a moment of just we didn't have that motivation like we should. And so, we are praying, and I hope you're praying for us too to set us on fire. But we're back at it, starting the new year off strong. So I'm excited for what this year has in store for us and for all of you. Please send us your prayer requests. We love you all, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Deuces.